Okay, Andreas here, and today from Asia Mind Dynamics with an exciting topic today, namely raising great kids with NLP. And of course, it's not me talking, it's also inviting Rohaya, announced yesterday evening, Rohaya Abd Rani from Take Charge, Sdn Bhd. And yes, she joined already, I can see her. Now I need to get her online. All right, it gets so easy today. Okay, inviting, hey Donovan. I'm just now inviting Rohaya. One moment, Facebook is inviting her. Donovan, it's always nice to see you. Hey Matt, also good to see you. Rohaya is hopefully soon available. Currently it's just inviting, and soon she should be with us. Hey Matt, I see you tomorrow morning, I hope. And thanks for being here as well. I'm waiting for her. Facebook is still inviting her. Inviting, because today we talk about raising great kids with NLP. What does it take? Hey, Rohaya!
Hi.
Yay! We've made it! Yay!
We made it, yes.
You have to speak a bit louder, maybe. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
I can hear you clearly as a big face in the middle of the screen.
Okay.
I was just saying hello to Matt, who just joined us. We've got one person already, and I announced already that today we've got a very exciting topic, namely raising great kids with NLP. It's Rohaya, and you are in Penang, right?
Yep, I'm in Penang right now.
I gotta check out where's my camera. Okay, you're in Penang and I'm in KL, and still we are able to split the video into two.
Yes.
And we've made it. It was so fast today compared to yesterday, isn't it?
Yep.
So, what does it take? I mean, I was just talking. Okay, I gotta watch out where I put my hands. Usually my screen is bigger. I can see my hands moving. Now it's only half, so I gotta do it like that. Why don't you say something about yourself?
Yeah, okay.
So I do know.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Hello everyone. My name is Rohaya. A little bit about myself. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful children. I do things from home. I help my husband with his business, and I also maintain this Facebook page called As I Am Managing Kids using NLP, where I share my own experience in using NLP and managing them, and also I share some other parents' experiences, tips on managing kids using NLP tools, of course. And currently, I'm writing a book.
You're writing a book, okay?
Yes. Alhamdulillah, it's at last chapter. It's a bit, yeah. I've been keeping it quite a while. That book. So hopefully, inshallah, pray for me that it will be launched by end of this year. And I'm also currently doing this online course on positive discipline, becoming a parent facilitator. A little bit about qualification. My qualifications, I'm certified NLP practitioner, and that's awarded by Asia Mind Dynamics.
That's me!
Yes. Andreas and Najwa are my gurus, NLP gurus, and as well as my husband, Rizal. He's also a master practitioner in NLP.
Yes.
Yep. Great gurus. You know, if you want to learn about NLP, go to them. They are the best people
Thank
around.
you. Now,
right,
so far, we've got Matt and Donovan online so far. I'm not sure, can you see them also if there's somebody online, or you don't see that?
Hi, Shawal, Hazik, Matt.
All right. And if I'm every now and then want to give a shout out. So if you like the video, because we just got started, just share it across your timelines so people know that we have this great conversation. We just got started here. Rohaya is here, and I'm really looking forward to asking you. You create a real steer on your timeline. Everybody wanted to see you, looking forward to it. And currently, Facebook, of course, is distributing it. So let me just go to my laptop and give a couple of likes, and you also can give a couple of likes, because then Facebook will help us a little bit in distributing this video. So I'm disappearing for just half a second. and try to figure out where is the like, where the like, where the like. Oh, here's the like button. Okay. Like. I don't know how to do that. Okay. I hope people, you give her some likes. Also, it's your video, so if you are having questions regarding what's going on with Rohaya, how to raise children today with NLP, of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about bullying overall. We've discussed it yesterday. I think it's a very, very, very important topic.
Yes.
And yes, Sukma, good to see you as well. Hello, Sukma. So I was just looking, thanks for joining. Giving you a shout out. I just started talking to Rohaya. She said something about herself. You were saying something like you're writing a book that's totally new
Yes.
to me. I think it's very secret right now, is it? And the online stuff. So share a little bit about the book you're writing or finishing soon.
That book. The book is in Bahasa. It's called Mudah Urus Anak dengan NLP. And in that book, I shared tips on firstly how to know your kids, how to know yourself. That's very important. You got to know yourself first before you know your kids. And then I shared, I shared some important things on how to build connection with your children.
All right.
And lastly, I put in also some great tools from NLP for you to use to achieve excellence with your children.
Okay, you mentioned something very important. Okay, it's not just about raising great kids. It starts with the parents, right?
Yes.
So share a little bit on what's wrong with the parents.
Okay. NLP is very much about modeling and setting the pattern of excellence. So you want your child to change, you got to change first because they look upon you, they model you, so
right.
you got to set that good example for them, and also something about change is that change starts with yourself, and it's not something that is forcible. So you want your child to change, you got to just show good example. You can expect them to follow you, as an authority figure. I tell you this, you must do this. I tell you that, you must do that. It doesn't work that way. So with children, the spectrum is much more broad. It's not just modeling. There's so much more. Building the connection and so on. So this is where NLP tools are good. To build the community, build the connection, and it goes on from there. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So the parents have a challenge, right? Even NLP always says like that we always do the best we can with the resources available. So if I were to ask you, Rohaya, now what is really going on? What's wrong with the parents nowadays? Not just only in Malaysia, but I experience it also across the globe, actually. What's going on with the parents?
Well, from what I see is that, we have technology, which is going to be touched in later part of the video.
Right. You can touch it now already if you want, of course, anytime.
So now is the age of information overload, and people are moving forward. Countries are moving forward to really become a developing nation. So all of this have become a factor for the parents to work more hard than before, and somehow time is, we feel that I personally feel, even though I stay at home with my kids, I personally feel that time is going so fast, because the technology is there, the information is like information is at the tip of your fingers. So the number one, the time of parents being available to their children, and number two, the effect of this information technology on the children. So somehow there's a missing pieces there. There's a missing connection between parents and children, and affects the brought out of the children. They become easily influenced by many factors outside. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Sukma
I see connection. Yeah.
Sukma,
what is
Matt,
the
if you
connection?
can hear us clearly, just type something in the comment box. If I speak too loud, too quietly, or if Rohaya speaks too loud or quietly, that if you can hear us, please write something in the comment box so we know that we are on the same level. Would that be okay, Sukma and Matt? And there's, I think, somebody else. Actually, got 5 people here, but I'm not sure if I see everything correctly here. It's always saying I have to swipe to the left or right to see you
Great to
guys
see you,
again.
Kak Sukma.
Hey, yes. So, what do you think? What do you think, Rohaya? What I'm always wondering about is when I go for a coffee break with my NLP practitioner or just having a normal lunch or dinner, I always see parents sitting with kids. And the easiest way nowadays, and you mentioned technology earlier, the easiest way for them is to keep a child quiet, give them the handphone, give them the iPad, play the video,
Yes.
and what happened there?
Okay. Yeah, I guess that has become like norm already. You know, I've been through that actually, and
You're guilty as well, is it?
yeah. So I guess
We all are.
yeah, every parents, yeah, go through the same thing because it is so easy. You know, the
Yeah.
there's so much entertainment on the iPad. So you want your children to be quiet, so you just pass it to them, and then you can do whatever you want. But the thing
Right.
is, with that is, you lose the connection. You lose the time that you have with the children. You know, and it is the effect of these gadgets on children's actually not very good. It is good for us to have our time, but it is not good in terms of their development, in terms of their their development, of their brain
Relationship
development.
development, all that. Don't disappear.
I'm here.
So, um, is there a time limit that you would give the child an iPad, for example, or so? Because I have
Yeah.
the feeling in Najwa always says, nowadays children come out of the womb and they know already how to play an iPhone.
Yes. it's, it's like wired in their brain already, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. As I was telling yesterday, during our promo, that the technology can be both blessing and destructive. You know,
True.
it can be a blessing because you want to know something, you just Google. You get to know everything. You know, you want to know information. You want to learn about something now. You know, there's a lot of opportunities there to learn online. So
True.
it will be a blessing if you take advantage of this. Yeah, you want to learn something new, you go and Google. You find. You can find anything. It
True.
becomes destructive when you realize that your child have no control of what they are doing, of what they are watching. Is you can see that they are lost in when they are playing with the gadgets and all, they are lost. And you also, when you see also, it's affecting their health, it's affecting their focus, and when you see that it's affecting their behavior, more tantrums, you know, and the most worst thing is when you realize that they put you second to the gadget, so the gadget is first,
What
you are
was that?
second.
Oh, I see.
It is
Okay.
destructive, yeah, when you realize that your child is putting you second place, the gadget is first.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like yeah, so it's at home, for example, they have control over that. I want gadget. If you don't give me gadget, then I'll act out. I'll cry. I'll shout. I'll scream. So you end up, you know, giving it to them because you don't want that drama to continue. So
True.
that's where it becomes destructive. So
Becomes
for
dangerous.
myself, yes, that's very dangerous. I have parents coming to me telling that, you know, they have problems with gadgets. How uh, at first they give it to, you know, to just keep the children occupied with something, you know, and then after that later it becomes serious where the children cannot put away the iPad. They watch it for a long time, maybe for like 3 to 4 hours every day. And then when they go out and they don't get it, you know, they start act out in the restaurant, they're shouting. So this is a sign that is getting serious. So from my experience, from my own experience, we have made that mistakes actually, but not to that extent. What I realized was, okay, we gave the iPad to the children, like 1 hour, maybe like every 2 days we give it for 1 hour. Just no games, nothing. It's just a learning apps. Yeah. Or sometimes maybe they watch something they like on the iPad, on the tablet. And I realized after that, their focus gone down. Yeah, I can easily notice that. You know, when I call, they took time to respond. And then when I ask them to do something, give them instruction, they took time to really act on the instruction. So then I realized, no, this has to stop. So now it's like, I just give them like few minutes every week, maybe once a week. Yeah. And what I realized is that iPads or these gadgets or tablets, parenting control is very important. You must make sure that these gadgets, it is under your power, it's under your control. It's not something that is in your children's hand. You know, it's you keep it, hide it at you know, at a place that they cannot access, and only give them during emergency. Like like for me right now, when we're doing this interview, now is the time I give my children. So I want them to treat the tablets or gadgets as a luxury item. It's not that something that you get every time. So so I tell my children that okay, this iPad I can only give to you after you did this, after you because I want to do work, and then I can give you, but not every day. It's like maybe once a week during emergency only lah, during emergency. So the bottom line is treat these tools, these gadgets as something important, but it is not urgent. It is important, but it's not urgent. Important in the sense that for us, we load a lot of learning apps, not you know, some games, not really games, but learning apps, because children do need to learn, you know, this how to handle gadgets, how to handle computers, because it is part of our life right now. It is part of us, you know, developing ourselves, because technology is very much part of ourselves, part of our life right now. So yeah, set the limit, and then no is no. If you say that you're not going to give the iPad, no means no. So if they really ask about it, just say no. That's it. Because some parents they do give up, and they give it. So that's where the drama likely to occur in the next round.
Let me interrupt you now for a moment, because I got a couple of new people here today. I'm talking, and I'm really happy to speak with Rohaya. She is in Penang right now. I'm KL. And we are speaking about managing kids, or like raising great kids with NLP. And we had very intensively spoken about technology nowadays, because kids have technology, we have technology, and for some parents it's easiest to just give the kids an iPad or a phone to play on, so the parents also tired, stressed out from a long day of work, and just simply have their own time of rest right now, isn't it? And the drastic part was actually, I'm not sure if you saw that video, Rohaya, where one child was actually attacking the parents with a sword or 2 knives even, and screamed totally out of control, because the parents actually said no. I'm not sure if you saw that video. It was circulated widely across the internet, which I think is very dramatic when it's getting so much out of hand. I think it's not necessarily, you see, 10 years back, maybe when everything emerged, there was the same discussion going on. Give the child to the maid, and the maid is taking care, and I have the peace. And whenever I am ready as a parent, then I'm spending 5 minutes time with my child, and I pass it on to the maid. Now, maybe parents realize in the meantime, hey, maids don't come that easily anymore. It's really expensive.
Yep.
And secondly, hey, it's easier. I have a so-called perceived connection with children because I'm sitting next to them.
Yeah.
Is it so? Sometimes, and I'm really very much on the technology with this part sometimes. So you mentioned, so is it okay when a parent is sitting next to the child and explaining the technology to the child, in contrast to give the phone or the iPad to the child and they play alone by themselves? Is that a difference?
Yeah, there's a big difference actually. I really like that point about you sitting together next to your children and explaining it while they are watching it. I do that a lot with Afifi and also Umar. When they are watching something that interests them. For example, Afifi now is really very much into watching Casey and Rachel in Wonderland. So see, as a parent, you got to know what your kids are watching. You know, so you know.
Right.
It's a form of control. Also, you know what your children are watching. So it is a good life stories, you know, of that particular videos, because it teaches you about culture and how because the kids are from Philippines, so they do videos on what they do on daily basis, you know. And I realized that in that video, and the kids, you know, they are very fluent in English, so that somehow it is good for me. I think it is good for Afifi to continue watching it, but most of the time I make sure I sit next to her. So whenever there's a unpleasant scene, for example, then I'll go and, you know, I'll go and explain, okay, what's happening, and is this behavior okay or not. So being
Right.
to do that, you know, it makes a difference actually, rather than you just let the kids have it on their own, you know, and them having the difficulty to interpret whether this behavior is good or not, you know. So yeah, parenting cooperation is good.
So most people actually say yes, you know. Sukma was saying, yes, we are guilty of using the iPad or other gadgets as a silencer. Nana was also saying, so true. So if you like what you hear right now, just give Rohaya a like, because I think I can hear the experience coming out from you. And hey, how many kids do you have? Just talk about your children right now for a while, and how do you raise great kids? I know you got 3 kids, but for the general public, we got 3 kids. What age groups are they in?
Sorry, what? Come again?
What age are your children, and what what is the difference between them in the terms of of raising them?
Okay, my first one is 6 years old. My second one is 3. Sorry, my second one is 4, and I just had a baby last March.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, I have a good range of age, you know, to use NLP on, and I find it very useful.
You can experiment every year. You can change your strategies, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, true. I did my NLP practitioner with Andreas back in 2013. That's when I was pregnant with Umar, my second child. And I realized that you know, I discovered 2 things actually when I was doing that course. Number one is that I have been using NLP actually without realizing it, you know, way before I joined that course. You know, when I did achieve something, you know, during my school life or university life or in work, it means that there's a pattern there, there's a system there, you know, that works. You know, anything that works is NLP. So actually, I've been using that, and it goes for all of us also. Once upon a time ago, you know, when we were a baby, we just, you know, lying there, looking around, people walking, you know, and then just one day we just take that first step, and there we are walking. So we are actually modeling, you know, people around us.
Yeah,
so
actually modeling, yeah.
Yeah. So
true.
So joining that course, you know, has opened my eyes that, you know, actually we all of us, you know, have somehow used NLP at least once in our life. And knowing much more tools, many more tools in that course, also made me discover the second most important thing is that I can use most of these tools on kids. So when I was pregnant, I read a lot of books. I did a lot of research. So I started to take one tools and then apply it on my first child. Then she was like 3 to 4 years old. She's at age of toddler, so that's
Ah,
perfect because that's where we are moving from a stage of baby to toddler, so that there's a lot going on there. So using NLP is good. It helps me, and it helps to uh, develop the kids also. Yeah.
I think also your own awareness, knowing NLP. I'm always saying in the training, when we do NLP practitioner training, it's not that we are perfect as parents because, hey,
Yes.
we know NLP, right?
Yep.
I always think like the main challenge overall is once we know NLP, I also at least know when I messed up, right? That's one thing. So, and then the nice part, of course, is once we realize we mess up, we also should know, or I know, not every time, of course, but I do know how to rectify what went wrong.
Yes,
I'm able
yes.
to have a very open
Yes.
relationship with my son and talk to him, and I'm happy, and I'm not like a normal parent pushing him down or shutting him up. I'm allowing him to speak out because I believe he also tries the best he can with the resources available. And as the parents, we always believe we have the big power, and the children should be quiet and not being hurt overall. So I'm happy when my son can actually speak up loudly. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
That we as parents know when we know NLP that we also know how to mess up things and rectifying it as well.
Yeah. NLP, learning NLP tools and using it to manage my kids. It's like having that handheld vacuum. I have this handheld vacuum and I love it so much because it's so quick, it's fast. When my kids feel some crumbs on the floor, I just take it and just quickly vacuum it. So it's like that. NLP is like that for me. The tools works quick, fast, and it works. So it is good when you learn something when you have the tools, like you said just now. When something happened, we are not perfect. Yes, I agree on that.
Of course, we don't want to be perfect.
Keep on learning. There's no perfect parent. It doesn't
That's a
mean
lie. Thank you.
NLP is, I'm perfect. No, I'm also learning. Actually, I'm still learning. In fact, now after 3 children, I'm still learning, and I believe people with 7 children so still learning. Because different children
So you're getting more
different
kids?
unique characteristics.
Are you saying, Rohaya, are you saying you're planning to have more kids?
Inshallah. Who knows?
We never know, okay? So what is yeah, sorry.
Sorry, you were saying what is?
What is tell us about a situation, for example, we are talking about parents messing up. Do you have a situation in mind where you messed up one time, and how do you manage to rectify it? Because when I learned NLP, that was when my son was already 7 and 8 years old overall. So it was more reasonable to speak to him, and I couldn't really manage him when he was really an infant or a baby at that time. At that time, I missed all the mistakes that happened. So your kids are still, at least 2 of them are still younger. So tell us the situation. How do you mess up, and what do you do differently? Thanks now for the lol.
Okay. All right. The thing is, when I'm using NLP on my kids, they got the pattern already. So sometimes they use it back on me. So
they're getting better than us, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So, for example, I usually give them choices whether you want to finish your book right now or you want to do it later. But the point is, finishing it. So after that, they come to me and say, okay, Ibu, I want to play this all this now. It's like, you know, they're using back on you. So
They've
having
learned.
NLP, yeah. So having NLP, I know a lot more of other tools to use. You know, maybe I dissociate with whatever she's saying with something else,
True.
reframing. You know, so you got to be flexible, you know, with a lot of tools in your hand, you know, even if it's not NLP, if it's something else, it's positive discipline or the rewards method, you got to, you know, be flexible and try different things. Like you said just now, you know, if something doesn't work, then you get to try different things. So I find that very important
Yep.
in managing kids. Yeah, you got to be flexible because then you get to control the situation better.
True. It's about because you're absolutely right, you know, your children playing it back onto you because they've never learned anything else but, right? So your
Yep.
kids are not stuck in the normal way. Papa says something or mama says something and that's it, but they've learned how to reframe, as you mentioned, or play it back onto us. In our training, we always say with kids, usually whatever we teach the adults, playing it on to the kids might just work for 1 week, and then we as adults get challenged to become more flexible again, to kind of outplay the children, but they are more flexible than us anyway because they don't have any
Yep.
limitations.
Yes.
What is something you would advise a parent to do in today's world? You mentioned something already earlier, but what would you advise parents to do in today's world to actually raise great children even without NLP? What do they need to know to be able to raise great kids in a very challenging environment and maybe even across age groups?
Okay. I'll share with you what I do in my family. Yeah. Okay. It might work for
Yep.
you also. The first important thing I realized is that you got to set a value and beliefs in your family, which is
Right.
agreed by everyone in your family. For example,
Even the kids.
value for us. Sorry.
Even with the children,
Yeah.
you discuss it with the children.
Yeah, discussing with the children. For example, value. Okay, value is something that is not change. You know, it's permanent. It's kind of permanent. So for us, value for a family is like honesty. You know, telling the truth. That is value in our family. So as much as we can, on daily basis, I will show them example of being honest. So this is something that, you know, it is fixed. So they need to understand that honesty is very important in our family. And the next thing is we also need to have beliefs, belief that is not hindering us to achieve something greater. For example, in terms of education, different family have different belief on education. Some family put importance on, you know, getting straight A's, academically good, and so on. Some other family, you know, value education as something that is free, meaning it let the children to experience it and let them decide, you know, on their own what they want to do and so on. So as long as the belief does not hinder us to achieve something more than that, or it is, you know, affecting the children to be sad or, you know, stressful, then if that is the case, then maybe the belief should be changed. So yeah, so to have workable beliefs, and then also like I said just now in the first round, that changes should start with us ourselves as parents. And then you how do you make change is, you know, to be a good model so that the children can pick up from you, and they will then do change, inshallah. And then always know that as parents, you have all the resources you need, whether it's material or immaterial. You have, actually, there must be somewhere or sometime that you have used. For example, you know, negotiation skill, for example. You know you're good in having that skill, in doing it at the office, for example, at workplace. So why not take that skill back when you're facing, your children's tantrum or conflict or anything? So use it. You always have the skills. And to be resourceful, keep on learning. Like I said, technology is helping us to be able to access to as much information as we want. And just now we mentioned about flexibility to do things differently if one thing doesn't work, because if you keep doing one thing and you keep getting the same result, it means that something is wrong somewhere. So try different things. And then respect. I would say respect children and see it from their point of view. This is something I see missing in parents nowadays, because we are so sometimes ego, telling ourselves that, oh, I'm the parents, you should follow me. We became the authority figure. So what children nowadays need is to have someone to trust, to have some to know that they are safe, they are secured, and what they are feeling is important for us as parents. So yeah, we should be able to see from their point of view and respect them.
Good. I realize the line gets a bit cracky every now and then. I'm not sure if you can hear me clearly, Rohaya.
I can. Yep.
It's still clear. So I think it's now, we have spoken about half an hour. Now, let me ask you one last question, because nobody actually, I thought like I will tons of questions come up from people.
Yeah.
None come up later on. Hopefully, maybe people put it in after we left. But we speak about children getting raised with NLP, creating great children overall. Now, would you be able to share, maybe not, because it's one thing that burns on the soul or the mind of many parents. What do you do with a child which is kind of like maybe in the age group 9, 10, 11, 12, not older right now, and kind of like, I'm doing it like this, I kind of messed up, basically speaking. The parents maybe have tried something, they've used too much technology to shut the kid up, and somehow the kid starts to get out of discipline. Maybe he's got problems in school already, bullying and so on, maybe already. What would you do in this area? How would you deal with these children? Or even though, first of all, with the bully, maybe in 3 points. Let me give you 3 points. First of all, the child out of limits already. What shall parents do? And we haven't spoken about it actually. About what about bullies, bullying and bullies overall?
Okay, bully is a very heavy topic for myself. Yeah, it's heavy at the heart, because it is heartbreaking when you hear children, as small as the baby, become a victim, or children, at the age of 6, for example, become the doer of bullying. So it is worrying actually. This is a very
worrying.
So when it happens, it is actually a message. It is a feedback that the child needs something, whether it's love, whether it's care, whether it's attention, whether respect, or they're trying to get some self-confidence, So
it's a cry for help, no?
Yes, it's a cry for help. And bully, can be bully is big in definition. Actually, it's not just, when we mention bully, most people think about it as physical only, but people sometimes forget that there's emotional elements there also. And also there's now with technology, there's a virtual online, there's a virtual bullying. People, kids using harsh words on the internet, So what to do when you face this kind of situation is, number one, in my family, we have these rules. Okay, you need to establish this rule: no hitting. No hitting parents, no hitting siblings, And when hitting does happen in your family, you got to move the person away, or you got to move the objects that becomes the source of fighting between two siblings, for example.
Right.
And you yourself as a parent, if you find that your child talks back to you, talks back is a type of bullying also, yeah. So you got to move. You got to tell the children that I don't like what I'm listening right now. I will take 5 minutes. After you're more calm, then we can talk again. So it is for you to establish that rules that it is not okay to talk back. It's not okay to hit your sister or brother. And then secondly, I believe that TV time, gadgets also have effects on this kind of issues, yeah. Because number one, you got to monitor what they watch.
Right.
Yes, you got to monitor what they watch, and then when you feel like you want to watch movies with adult content, for example, do it after the child are asleep. Don't sit there and watch it with them, because yeah, some parents do that, yeah, because you know, like action movie, very I would say 18 SG kind of movie, you know, it's very more fightings and everything. So this kind of movie, I think it's better to watch after they are asleep. It is, you know, and have this parenting control tools. Nowadays, with the smart TV and the smartphone, everything, they have, you know, there's this function, the parenting control function. So, you know, you can actually use that as a form of control. And the next thing is keep your fight behind closed door. This is something that, you know, I really stress on parents. If you do have to fight, do it somewhere else, not in front of your children, because children look upon, they look at us, they model us, how we manage our emotions, how we manage conflicts. Yeah, how we manage conflicts. So if you're doing it in front of your children, that's what they pick up. So that's what they're gonna do to their friends, for example, when they're having conflict with their friends. So strictly no fighting in front of the kids. So if you have to do it at that point of time, you got to tell them that, okay, mommy and daddy need some time alone. We'll come back when we are calm. So it shows that okay, mommy and daddy, there's something going on, but it's okay, they'll come to us when they're calm. So you got to show this, you know, strictly no fighting in front of the children. You model good example of managing your emotions. And you know, when the influence come from outside, like for example from friends, from the community, from what they see happening on the roads, you know, um, you as a parent, the thing that you can do is to build connection with your children, build meaningful communication. You got to be aware of their responses to you, to your communication. You got to be that first person that they trust, and they come to tell if they have problems and so on. So that is very important. You know, after all, the response, the communication, you know, the response you get is your communication actually. So to be the person that, you know, your children trust, you got to fix your communication, right?
Right.
So if they don't trust you, then it is quite hard, because they will trust other people outside. So that you know, it can become serious when it comes to the issue of bullying. And if
let me sorry,
yeah, sure.
Please go ahead.
Okay. It's actually the last one. You know, if the bullying gets serious, you need to get help. You cannot just, you know, let it happen inside your family, or maybe affecting other family as well. So get the child to talk to someone that they trust. For example, uncle or brother, or the teacher. And if it's way too much serious, then you need to start to contact maybe more higher authority to deal with this. Yeah.
Counselors.
But yeah, the point is, don't let it go on without any intervention from any parties. Yeah.
So I think, Rohaya, you deliver great value here. Those people who are listening here right now, it would be great if you give her a like or a heart overall, that she feels appreciated. But however, Nana was asking a question. I'm not sure if you can see it. I copied it out so I can see it here. Let me read it to you. Nana is saying, I have a 4- and 5-year-old, and sometimes they get along well, and sometimes they fight. They love irritating each other and making the other one cry. There's also some pushing and shoving when they are not getting along. What NLP tips and ideas can you share with me on how to help them get along better?
Okay.
I was clear?
Yeah, that's clear. Thanks, Nana. Nana is my best friend forever. She's in
Oh,
the
wow.
UK.
Okay, Nana,
Yeah.
thank you for joining here. It's
All
really
right.
lovely.
Yeah. Okay. It happens also sometimes with Afifi and also Uma. So what I did was, like I said just now, first to move the person or the object that is becoming the source of the fighting. Um, uh, and I also distract them for them to do something else.
Distract them.
Maybe, yeah, distract them. Distract them. Maybe take one child and you know, let's go for a walk for a while. You know, you're not settled down. I can see that you're angry. Come walk with me. You know, bring them to maybe an area in your house that you know they are more calm. Like for us, we have this calm area in the bedroom.
The what area?
Whenever
The calm
I call it
area.
the calm,
Oh,
yeah, the
wow.
peace area. So this circle, you know, it's for the children when they're angry or when they're sad. You know, they can go to this area and you know, be calm there and be peaceful there. So you kind of have this like
That's
small
wow. That's a
blanket
great
there,
tip.
you know. So yeah, it's like, you know, it's like a circle of peace. I would call it. So so whenever
Wow,
they are
I'm amazed.
yeah,
It's
whenever
really
they're
cool.
yeah, they're upset of something, so you know, I just invite them to come, then let them cool down first, and then you know, tell them, okay, I can see that you're angry right now. Come and sit with me here, or you want to sit alone. So respect whichever they want, until you calm down, and then after you calm down, you can come out and we can figure things out. We can sort things out, how to do about the toys, for example. Same goes with the other children. You know, let her have her time, calm time for a while. So when they are more calm, then can get that back together, and if they're still doing the same thing, you know, they're fighting over the same object, so I'll just hide, or I'll just keep that object and tell them that until you guys can figure out how to share this thing, then I'll be keeping it with me. So that's what I did actually. So there's a distraction there. There's yeah, you know, getting them away from that situation actually, basically.
I think it's excellent. It's great value you're offering here. Now I do know that it's late for you, so 3 things. First of all, I would like you to mention your book again. Then, of course, you mentioned something, you go online something, and how can people reach you for personal advice? Do you offer courses, or can they call you up for personal advice? Yeah, share a little bit more about this one before we say goodbye and good night.
All right. The book again is called Mudah Urus Anak dengan NLP. It's basically I share with you tips on using NLP to manage kids, knowing them, knowing yourself, building communication, and also achieving excellence with it. And I maintain an FB page called Ask Ayah Managing Kids Using NLP. This is where I share.
Sorry. Ask Ayah.
Ask Ayah Managing Kids Using NLP. Yes.
It's one long word, is it? One long sentence.
It's just Ask Ayah actually. So if you type Ask Ayah, you find it, inshallah. So it's
Ask Ayah. Okay. Ayah is A-Y-A. Okay.
Yeah, ASKAYA. So it's basically where I share my experience. You know, sometimes I share other parents' experience in there, and tips on parenting. And the fastest way to get to me is to message me through that FB page. You know, I'll reply to your response there. I do reply, you know, even though sometimes I do take some time to reply because
Of course,
I'm so occupied with my kids and family. So, but
of course,
I
I think it's great. Yeah.
That's a commitment from me. Yeah, I'll reply. And you can also send me emails if you want. It's rohaya.ar@gmail.com. Yes, and my website is still under construction. When it is up, I will definitely give you an update on my page.
All right, that would be wonderful. So Nana is saying that she found it really, really, I think it was Nana saying it, that he found it really, really excellent, your tip. She wants to really use it next time. I was amazed of what I've learned here right now. It's really, 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 really great stuff. And I hope this video is already reaching pretty far already. So I think it's hopefully going further. If all of you who see or watch this video like what you heard, add on a like as well, share on your timeline. I will post it onto our YouTube page, most likely end of this week or next week latest. I'm a bit behind in posting, so it will be on YouTube as well, visible under Asia Mind Dynamics. So check it out, subscribe to our channel. Rohaya, I'm posting your link as well at a later stage in YouTube so that people can really reach out to you. And overall, for those of you who liked to, who listened here, thank you very much. And one more thing from your side, want to say something before we say bye-bye and good night?
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that what I share is helpful in one way or another.
Give one more like,
Andreas,
yes.
for the opportunity. Thank you, Andreas, for the opportunity.
Thank you. And good night, Rohaya. And if you hear from Rizal, send our regards to him, all right?
Yep, okay, sure. Thank you. Please make dua for him.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
And see you soon and hear from you soon. Bye-bye and good night.
Thank you. Good night.